Hello everyone, I am Jess and I'm so excited that you're here on this channel. I'm going to talk about why fame is a nervous system game. Now, why is fame important? I'm speaking about good fame. Okay, there is a lot of famous people who are not good people. We're talking about the good people that want to be famous. And why is fame important? Because if you have a lot of eyes on you, you can monetize, you can make a lot more money, you can do a lot of good in the world. And that is fame to me. Fame to me with the right people is actually going to change the world because we can bring things to the forefront that more people need to know about, and we can truly change people's lives when we are seen by more people. I do know that a lot of people who are watching this channel have their own YouTube channel, are building their own businesses, want to expand their wealth. And in my opinion, being famous or being seen by a lot of people is a really good way to expand your business, to make more money, to be more wealthy, and to have more fun truly in life, and to, of course, impact more people in your life and to help more people if this is what you're doing in your business. Now, let's talk about why fame is a nervous system game. And this is an example that I have for you guys that is really stuck in my mind when I first started to learn about understanding how the subconscious mind and the nervous system are truly responsible for you being seen by a lot of people or not. Now, Marilyn Monroe is one of the people that is most known when it comes to being able to turn fame on and off. So she would walk through the streets and her friends would say that if she didn't want to be seen by people around her, she would literally turn it off. And if she wanted to be seen by people, she would know how to turn it on. So what do I mean with turning it off and turning it on? You have to understand that your nervous system is always trying to keep you safe. And I talk about this so much, but the same thing applies to you being seen by a lot of people. So when we look at famous people, they're actually feeling really good and comfortable with being perceived by a lot of people. They're not scared that once they walk into your room, everyone turns at them. Now, Marilyn Monroe was able to turn exactly that thing on and off, where if she didn't want to be seen by a lot of people, she knew how to turn it off and how to hide in her own energy bubble. Whereas if she wanted to be seen and perceived by a lot of people, she would turn it on, and immediately people would turn their heads and would recognize who she actually is. And that's the interesting thing, because for some reason, I've always been really good at spotting famous people wherever I went. And I do think it is because their energy is magnetic. Their energy is different. It's not that they're famous and they stand out. It's because there's something about them that is different. They're okay with being recognized. They're okay with being seen by a lot of people. When I was living in Berlin or when I'm, in the States, it's very easy for me to spot them. And I feel like a lot of people have a easier time spotting those people. Even if they're walking in a crowd, even if they're minding their own business, you see them because their energy is like, look at me, but not in an arrogant way, but in a, I'm safe that you're looking at me. And I don't care if I'm in a sweatshirt, or I don't care if my hair is undone. I'm okay with you seeing me, perceiving me. So let's talk about how this relates to you and how you can actually reprogram your mind and create safety within your nervous system so that you're able to be perceived by a lot more people. Now, one thing that I've seen is there are people, and this used to be me actually, people who are posting all of the time and are still not being seen by enough people or by more people. And that is for a couple of reasons. Now, one of the first things that I see in people is visibility resistance. So you might even put yourself out there, but then suddenly you have this need to retreat and to not be seen by the world anymore. So that is a sign that your nervous system does actually not feel safe with the expansion and doesn't feel safe with being received by a lot of people. And funny enough, this is what happens to me. I've been posting on YouTube for quite a while now, and there's been a time where, of course, the growth was steady and slow and very minimal until I had one video get a lot more views than all of my other videos. And I remember panicking a little bit. I remember it was the weekend, and every half an hour, if I would check my phone, I would have a lot more subscribers, a lot more comments. It felt like I could not even keep up with these comments. And the thing is also, I did not only receive good comments. I also received some weird hate comments, whatever. And I remember retreating. I remember being like, ooh, like I need a moment. And that was a sign that I realized, oh, my nervous system right now does not feel yet safe to be perceived by all these people. And that is the first step to recognize that when this is happening, you're able to name it and you're able to actually speak it out loud. A lot of people here on the channel ask me, well, how do you regulate your nervous system? What do you do? Well, the first thing is actually naming it out loud. This is the thing that I teach my clients. The moment you recognize that there is something going on and you're retreating or you're scared or you're sabotaging, say it out loud, because what this does is it puts it from the subconscious into the conscious mind. Now, of course, if you're not aware that it is happening, the first step is always awareness. But once you have that awareness, you want to actually say it out loud and speak it out loud so that we normalize it and we don't make it a big thing and it doesn't stay stuck. And you don't stay stuck in repeating that pattern over and over again. Now, why is it that some people can post for months, years, and still are not being seen by a lot of people? The number one reason is that they're not being bold. They're scared to be judged. They're scared to trigger people. And so you might be one of those people, and it used to be me. You're scared to actually share your truth. Or maybe you don't even know what your truth is because you've been so used to conforming. You've been so used to saying what everyone else is saying, to make sure that everyone else is going to like you, to make sure you people please, to make sure that you are the good girl or the good boy, and to make sure that you don't stand out. And there are a couple of reasons for it. Of course, if you grew up learning, if you're the good girl, if you conform, that you're doing a good job, you will keep doing that. And of course, biologically as well, as human beings, in the past, many, many years ago, when we used to live in tribes and in caves, standing out, being different would mean danger and, actually not being able to survive, because when we were part of tribes, the number 1, 2 predators that we had was famine and, like a bear trying to kill us. So if we know, okay, if we're part of a tribe and we belong and we all have the same opinion, I will be able to survive. And back then, standing out, being different, not being part of a tribe would mean that you would not be able to survive in the wild. And so our system still works the same way, that we actually still believe we're safe if we are part of a community or if we conform, if we say the things that everyone wants to say. And so standing out can feel very dangerous and threatening to the system. What is the second reason why people are posting or putting themselves out there, trying to be famous, trying to be seen, and are still not being seen? They're trying to be performative. So they're actually not being embodied in their truth. They're not who they are. They are who they think they need to be. So they think that who they actually are at their core is not good enough. So they try to become someone else. Maybe they're looking at someone else's content. They're seeing what someone else is saying and they're trying to say it the same way. Or they're comparing themselves with everyone else on the internet or with the people in their life or with famous people. And they think they have to be the same way, like all of them. But when we look at famous people, when we look at people that are known, even if it's, famous people like artists or YouTubers, what makes them stand out is the embodiment of their truth. It is truly their authentic self. I'm thinking back like many, many years ago when I first started consuming YouTube, and I'm thinking of Tana Mongeau. Like, I don't know if you guys know her. I don't follow her. I haven't seen any of her videos in a very long time. But back then, I remember watching her videos, and the thing why I think, and she might be a very, very controversial, again, I don't know a lot about her, but the thing that stands out to me as I'm thinking about her is she's been very unique from the beginning, and it didn't feel performative. It felt truly who she was back then. Again, maybe I'm wrong, but that to me is what makes people stand out. And not only to me, like you as a human being, you might notice energetically something feeling off if they're performing or if they're truly being themselves, if they're truly embodying what they're saying too, right? And that is also one small thing that I want to say here. It's, for example, let's say you have an educational channel or you're talking about something that you're teaching or something that is your truth, but you're actually not embodying that in your life. There's also an energetic disconnect from other people actually wanting to follow you, because you might say, oh, I meditate every morning, or meditation is really important, but you don't meditate, right? Or working out is really important, but you don't work out. This is a discrepancy of energy, and people might not know what it is about you, but they're like, something feels off. So I don't fully believe what she's saying, or I don't fully trust that her words are actually true, for example. And then the third reason why you might be posting and still not being seen by a lot of people is that your nervous system fears what will happen when you're famous or when you're being seen by a lot of people. Again, when I say famous, it doesn't matter if it's 1,000 people watching you or 1,000,000 people watching you. It doesn't matter. Your system will have a certain capacity of how much you can actually take in. Okay. What I mean with this is your system is always bracing for what if scenarios. So right now, your system knows what's familiar and it's your current state. Your current state is maybe you have, 10 people watching your videos, and that is where your nervous system is like, this is where we feel safe because there's 10 people watching our videos. That is good. That is safe. That is healthy. Da 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 da. But if you want 10,000 people to watch your videos, your nervous system might be like, well, that's unfamiliar. I don't know what's going to happen on the other side. What if people think I'm a fraud? What if people think that I'm not good enough? What if people are going to judge me? All these things will come up. I remember I did a masterclass a while back and one person was saying your nervous system is your friend because your nervous system is your friend. It always wants the best for you, but it doesn't always know what's best for you. And you have to tell your nervous system what's best for your nervous system. So you might find yourself wanting one thing. So being famous, being seen, standing on stages, walking into your room and being looked at, but your nervous system is like, yeah, but doing this will actually threaten us. It's going to put us into danger because what if, right? I also kind of like the analogy of an invisible wall in front of people. So sometimes when I scroll on TikTok, I see people who are saying really good information. Like I watch them and then I see them having like 2 likes on a video and no comments. And I look at their channel and their information is really good. Like what they're saying is, in my opinion, should be seen by more people. But then what I see is that there is this invisible wall. There's actually an invisible wall where they're so scared to be seen by people. And so they're not magnetic. They're not magnetizing people to them because one of the biggest misconception is, and this is the second part that I want to talk about, is that you have to post more. You have to show up more so that people see you more. And strategically, there might be some truth behind it. Yes, of course, the more you show up, the more possibilities and opportunities you have for people to see you. But ultimately, if your energy is still having this invisible wall in front of you, it doesn't matter how many times you show up, that invisible wall will not go away unless you've built the capacity to feel safe to receive more views, more eyes on you. Because you also have to remember that your brain right now cannot imagine 1,000,000 people in front of you. Like it cannot imagine physically that 1,000,000 people are going to watch you if it were to be in a physical room. This is not what your brain can do. And I think the biggest crowd I've ever seen was at a Taylor Swift concert, to be fair, or maybe at a Beyonce concert. I don't know. It was a lot of people, but I want to say it was around 50 to 80,000 maybe that I physically was able to see. But of course, they were not even looking at me. And even that was feeling like, that's a lot of people. So just imagine, Taylor Swift and the work that she has done to actually feel safe being on stage, being the center of attention while all these people are looking at her. Now, another thing that I see people trying to not do the actual inner work that is going to shift them is to do another marketing course or another strategy course or hire another business coach. Now, there might be some strategic things. Of course, I'm not saying that this is not at all the thing that is going to help you grow, but you might be even doing all the strategic things. But if your nervous system is like, yeah, but I'm still not ready, you will still find yourself capping yourself in whatever it is that you want. And of course, another mistake I see people do is, and I said this before, trying to do it like everyone else or trying to do it like that person. It can work, but eventually you will find yourself asking, what am I even doing here? And it also is a part that I don't really talk a lot about here on the channel, but depending on your human design, I'm a projector. Projectors are very absorbent of other people's energy. I have to be very, very, very careful of the content that I consume and the people that I follow because I tend to feel like other people can do it better than me. And I tend to take on their way of doing things, their way of saying things. And I would find myself many times in my business trying to follow someone else's way of doing things, feeling completely disconnected from actually my own truth. And even when working with AI or working with ChatGPT. Like, don't outsource your power. This is a tool that enhances you, right? And for example, let's say you're trying to create content and all of it is created on ChatGPT and you're following a script to a T from ChatGPT. It is not you. It is not your authentic self. Unless you've trained ChatGPT to a pro that they're able to say exactly every word like you would say it, great. But use it more as an amplifier rather than something that you have to copy or to outsource your truth or your power to the things outside of you, if that makes sense. So I have a couple of exercises I actually have 3 sentences for you, because I know you guys have liked this from the last video. 3 sentences that I want you to finish. The first sentence is, if I'm seen by more people than I. Finish the sentence. If I'm seen by more people than I. Let it come to you. Is there fear? Maybe there's no fear and you're like, well, then I become famous and I love it. Or maybe you're like, then I am scared that whatever that might be. Okay, so notice what is coming up. We're tapping into your subconscious mind right here, because finishing these sentences is very powerful for you to see what is coming up, because that's the thing you want to work with. The second sentence that I have for you is, if I stand out or I am different, then I. What is coming up for you? And then the third sentence that I have for you is, I need to be liked by everyone because. Let the answers come to you without judgment. Just notice the first thing that pops into your mind is your truth, and that is the belief you got to work with. That's your nervous system still trying to keep you safe in what is and what's familiar without allowing you to be seen by more people. So if this is something that you want to dive deeper into and you want to actually heal this fear, I have a 2-day online retreat come up, a 2-day immersion, which is called Embodied Icon. I don't have the details just yet. Very soon they will be there in the next couple of days. But if you feel like you don't want to miss out on this already and you want more information, send me a DM on my Instagram. It's either at @IamJessicaCarvad or at jessica.carvad. I have 2 Instagrams because I'm growing one of them. So feel free to reach out to me at any of these Instagram accounts if you feel like you already know that this is the work that you want to do, because this is the work that we will dive deeper into. It's the nervous system regulation, it's the subconscious reprogramming. It's also the beliefs that we just uncovered and being able to shift them, right? But I've already given you tools right now that you can use. By you finishing these sentences, you're bringing these things into awareness, you're speaking them out loud, which is shifting them from your subconscious mind into your conscious mind. So alone that is already shifting your nervous system into being like, oh, I'm seeing this right now. I can actually create a new sense of safety by doing something else or by showing up in a different way. Another couple of things that you can do, of course, nervous system regulation wise, is grounding yourself. So if you feel like, oh my God, I am, feeling overwhelmed by me putting my video out there, go outside, ground your feet on the ground and be like, no, I'm grounded, I'm safe, I'm protected. Because, at the end of the day, your nervous system is always scanning for danger. Like that's what your brain, your nervous system is always doing. It's like, what is dangerous? What is dangerous? Because it wants to keep you safe. So the more that you can find ways to create safety within you as you're creating content, noticing when are you comparing yourself to someone? When do you believe this is not the right way of doing it. You have to do it like them. If you feel like there are parts of you who don't feel good enough the way that you are, you got to do some inner child work. You got to go deeper into what has happened in your childhood or early on in your life that made you believe these things about you, and how they are showing up today. So these are some of the things that you can do. But yeah, if you like this type of content, let me know down below. Subscribe to the channel. I really hope you enjoyed this video. I definitely enjoyed recording it. I'm sending you so much love, and until the next time, bye-bye.